everyone, now is your chance to try the award-winning products from America's #1 lash and brow serum brand, Grande Cosmetics. They put the power of dramatic, lasting enhancements in your hands. Whether you're looking to solve a frustrating beauty concern, level up your look, or get glam, Grande Cosmetics products empower you to enhance your lashes, lips, brows, and beyond.
Jess, what if I want to level up my look, get glam, and solve the frustrating beauty concern? That's what Grande Cosmetics does. It does all three of those things in once. And now they have a collection of mini sizes, you know we love a mini, of their best sellers sold exclusively on grandecosmetics.com. So you're going to get the Grande Lash MD Lash Enhancing Serum, the Revolutionary Grande Brow Enhancing Serum. I've actually been using that on the centers of my brows. You know, sometimes as you get a little older, the brows thin out. Anyway, this helps with that. Grande Mascara, Conditioning Peptide Mascara, and the Grande Lips Hydrating Lip Plumper, which is like way more than a lip gloss. It has hyaluronic acid. It fills out your lips. If you use it 2 times daily for 30 days, you're going to see an overall increase in lip volume. So you're getting sort of a treatment and makeup in one, which is great.
Now is your chance to try the Grande Favorites Kit or shop your most loved Grande Cosmetics products for 15% off. Just use the code FATMASCARA15. You can only get the set at grandecosmetics.com, so make sure to shop now. Use the code FATMASCARA15 to get the Grande Favorites Kit valued at $80 for only $29.74. Just use FATMASCARA15.
We are so excited to be working with Strivectin again. You know we're big fans of this brand because they do the work. All their science-backed skincare is vetted by independent clinical testing, which you know is music to my ears.
And Strivectin just came out with a new acne control line called the Multi-Action Clear Collection. This is a 3-step routine that delivers powerful results without disrupting the skin's barrier or drying out skin.
Okay, listen, I've been writing about and recommending acne products for years, and that's really hard to do. It includes Strivectin's gentle daily clarifying cleanser that won't leave skin tight or dry, the daily brightening and retexturizing toner that helps to visibly fade discoloration, and the acne clearing treatment lotion, which reduces breakouts and helps prevent future breakouts from forming.
Best of all, the Strivectin Multi-Action Clear Collection has amazing clinical results. It's been shown to improve acne blemishes and post-blemish marks in 7 days.
You know we love a multi-purpose product, and the fact that this collection does all that and helps visibly fade the ghosts of pimple past without drying your skin makes a clear winner.
Visit Strivectin.com to learn more about their new Multi-Action Clear collection of products. Subscribe to emails and you'll even get 15% off your first order. That's Strivectin, STRIVECTIN.com.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Fat Mascara Beauty Podcast. It's Friday. We have an amazing interview with some beauty movers and shakers and music industry movers and shakers. I'm Jen Sullivan. I'm actually not here for the interview. This is the Jess show today.
The Jess show. It's really not my show. I'm just here to facilitate an amazing conversation. Wow. Wow. I'm here with Hayley Williams and Brian O'Connor. Hayley Williams, if you're here, do I have to? She is the lead singer of Paramore and also a co-owner of Fruits Hair Lab Salon in Nashville. And also, she's part of the duo behind Good Dye Young, which is an incredible hair dye company. And she's here with Brian O'Connor, who is her close friend and also a co-owner of the Fruits Hair Lab and also part of Good Dye Young. The two of them have an incredible bond, which you will feel right away when we get into the conversation. They're so much fun to talk to. This conversation's awesome. We're just going to get right to it. Let's just take it away. So, all right, guys, where are you calling in from? I kind of can't figure it out.
We're in Nashville. We're at my house right now in the studio.
You have your own, that doesn't really surprise me. You have your own studio, though.
It saves us a lot of money having our own studio. It's nice, too, just to be able to do things like this without having to go, we just be home.
Cozy.
Yeah, that's my favorite word.
I love it. Keep it cozy. That's one of my mantras. My cousin gave it to me, but I loved it. Keep it cozy.
Keep it cozy. I'm going to use that.
Love cozy.
If I could give that to you, if I could tell people that My cousin passed it on to me, and
Yeah.
now I'm passing it on to you, Hayley.
Yeah.
Keep it cozy.
Please. Thank you. Oh, God. Thank you. I love it.
Nice.
It's a great
Okay,
gift.
so are you recording music today? Are you like playing around? Am I being too nosy?
No, not at all. Brian and I, we're about to leave for tour. So Paramore's got like 7 shows in the UK and 1 show in Ireland, and we leave tomorrow. So today we just have a couple of like Good Die Young things that we're going to do together. So Brian drove in. Brian lives on a farm like an hour away. It's beautiful. So dreamy. So we pulled him out of his like dreamy paradise to come into the city and work.
Okay, excellent. How did you guys, I'm going out of order with my questions, but I feel like I'm going to like change it up because I just want to set the stage. How did you guys meet? How did you guys connect?
Well, Hayley was 17. I was just turning 20. I was apprenticing at a salon under the owner at a salon here in Franklin, Tennessee. And Hayley came in and she was seeing the owner at the time. She wanted her hair to look like a matchstick, like when you lit a match. So it was like this deep red into these brighter yellow tips. And at the time, the owner of the salon went on maternity leave. So Hayley came in to get her hair freshened up in the tips. And she was like, well, I'll just go with Brian. I'm used to him. Because when she would go to see Darla, I would be the one who would shampoo her, get the towel, put it around her neck, help mix up her color, whatever it may be. And then Hayley had actually come back from Japan with the guys, and she was like, all right, we've been working on new music. It's for our second album. We're going to be doing all the imagery for it and a music video. And I found this magazine over in Japan called Fruits Magazine. It's a streetwear fashion magazine. And she was like, I basically just want to look like an animated caricature of myself. And that's when we did the big Riot Misery Business look. And sort of from there, it's been sister ever since.
So you got her vision. You were on the same page. You had that before.
Very much so. And I think like creatively, I mean, we were both younger, around the same age. We were really big into the same scene in music and the same sort of thing. So it was this great kind of feeding off of each other that really, I think, made it what it is today.
You got the same references. You spoke the same language.
Yeah. And what we like is, even now she'll recommend something, but I'm able from a professional standpoint to just kind of say, yeah, but you need to keep this in mind. And then she'll reel me in other areas of being like, yeah, but that might be too clean or too pretty, or let's rough it up, because I can get very technical. So it's a good balance.
It's so rare to find a friend like that.
I know. Oh my God. And I feel like I mean, it's like an embarrassment of riches a little bit, because I met my bandmates basically my first year living in Nashville when my mom and I had moved here. So that was one aspect of having this very creative kind of bond with people. But meeting Brian was this whole other thing, because I'm pretty sure had we not met, I think on my own, I was very timid about expressing certain sides or certain interests that I had. And I think that's what's great about any really healthy collaborative relationship. I think you just start to realize there's more in there than you knew. And somebody else can either mirror you, or they can just kind of be that one to start pulling the thread until more you realize how much is going on. And we work with that. There's a lot in here that we want to express, but I think having this partnership to kind of channel it through has just been so healthy for us.
And make you feel safe enough to express this part of yourself. That part of yourself.
The safest. And I think that's the safeness and the trust that is there for each other. It only makes it better, because we don't question when one of us is saying something, work related or not. There's never a doubt that I don't feel like I don't have her full attention when we're talking, and vice versa. With that. And so that helps a lot. Like just being seen or heard, especially just in any creative outlet. It's always good to know that you're seen or heard first, and then comes the creativity.
God, I think that you make a great point. It's like the attention. Like, I feel like that's like the hardest thing to get. Now, even more than like the creative part, what you're saying, like she could be saying the most insane creative idea, but it's like, just do you have her attention, or do you have someone's attention?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really, really smart. Okay, now I'm going to get to talking about attention, but now I'm going to get to the actual thing, the creative, the meat of what we're talking about. So, Hayley, you've got a hat on. What does the hat say? I can't read the font from here because it's like backwards.
It's absolutely the death metal font. It says Metalheads.
Okay.
It's part of a collection that we did with our semi-perms that we talked about it for years before it happened. Mm-hmm. We were trying to figure out, because we knew that there was a type of tattoo ink that someone had told me about at some point in my tattoo adventures, where they were like, there's like this metallic tattoo ink that actually sticks in the skin, and it doesn't kill you apparently, and it looks very, like there was someone that they showed me that it was like it was water, and they made it look reflective in a way on someone's skin. And we talked about how cool it would be if you could make someone's hair look like that. And it also was just a really fun, I think, for us to play with marketing in a new way and really go deep into, how are we going to promote this, and what does it sound like? What do the people look like that wear this? And so we made a commercial for the Metalheads collection, which was all inspired by like metallic and jewel tones, combined. Yeah, this is my favorite black beanie that I wear all the time.
I like it.
Thank you.
I didn't know what it said, but I liked it. Okay, so underneath, what color is your hair right now? I see a little bit of red.
It's kind of, I've let it fade quite a bit. We've been off for a few weeks now, and Brian and I, something that I enjoy about, he's a professional, and his job is to make sure everyone looks 100% all the time. But I love that he has that same thing that I do, where I really like for things to kind of look a little bit fucked up or just lived in and comfortable. Like, you can have the nicest designer clothes in the world, but if you look rigid and sterile in it, it's not really like speaking. It's not saying anything. It certainly doesn't seem to have a story if it just looks so perfect, So I like that Brian is, very pro, but he's also down to let me just live in my hair color until it fades into oblivion. And we're also just still dreaming up how we want the rest of the album cycle to look. So right now, it is this blend of a few different colors that make this specific orange from Good Die Young, and black tips on the ends. And so I've had that now for a few months at least.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure out, we love story and we love an arc, a character arc. So we're just kind of trying to decide which way to go next. Do we want to keep this for a little longer? Do we want to push it into, like, find our way into some new visual storytelling? Not sure yet.
What was the first color you ever dyed your hair? Even without, maybe, I'd imagine before Brian, right?
Yeah. Whew, those were dark days. Well, back then, it's so hard to remember this, but there was a time where really you could not find fashion colors. You could find like maybe soft versions of fashion colors. Like Manic Panic has been the GOAT in this business for so long and in this space. And thank God for them, because that was kind of, if I went into a Hot Topic and they happened to have like a red, I would just get that and throw it on top of my hair because I knew nothing. But mostly what I was doing was going to like a pharmacy close to my house as a kid, someplace I could ride my bike to. And I was taking like dollar bills, like just however I was scrounging together money. And that's like what I wanted to spend my money on was I just want my hair to say something. I wore like Goodwill clothes. I basically still do, but much to Brian's sadness. But I cared about the hair for some reason. And I would pick up different versions of like a copper, or sometimes it might look more berry. And I never knew what I was going to get. And that's why when I finally had an idea of like a specific look, I happened to walk past the salon he was working at one day with my granny. And that was like the beginning. I mean, that was really not only the beginning of Brian and I's friendship, but I think it was the beginning of me realizing that it's actually a very cool thing to have a vision about how you want to present yourself to the world. And then it's okay to go after that. It might take a little effort. In my case, it was like I was going from spending pennies to like all right, I'm going to spend a little money on my hair. And it made such a difference in my life and in how I viewed myself, you know. And obviously the biggest bonus, like the part that's now invaluable, is that we formed a bond out of that.
And now you're bringing the, you know, just on a more kind of like commercial level, you're bringing that experience to a much wider audience with Good Die Young. Or you it's not a new brand you've created already, but that's kind of what you're doing now, right?
Yes.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about your salon in a minute. But Good Die Young is going even bigger now with Ulta in May.
Can you fucking believe it?
It's crazy.
How many
It's
colors
so
do you have?
crazy. Oh my God.
27, I think.
Yeah.
27 SKUs.
Of color.
Of color.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you know the bestseller?
Right now, it's our Lightning Kit is our bestseller.
And it is so good.
Yeah.
What is the lightning kit like? I don't dye my hair like a fun color. I'm very unfun.
So the Lightning Kit is an at-home like pre-measured bleach packet and then developer 25 volume. So we did that. So if you wanted to lighten, most of the vivid colors that are Good Die Young need to be put on pre-lightened or bleached hair.
Yes.
And so it's like our Lightning Kit is our bleach, our lightener in a box. It's all pre-measured. You open the pouch, you dump in the developer, you mix it up. You can apply it. You can do a test strand. You can put it in foils. You can do all over if you know.
And
we
it's
have
a low
YouTube
volume
channel where we like walk through all of it why it's set at 25 volume. You know, you should leave it on for at least 30 minutes up to 50, depending on your level of darkness, of your hair, the undertone that is your hair, which is the color that it's going to pull as it lifts.
Right.
Mainly, you know, it's so technical, but we kind of walk through all of that with Good Die Young. But right now, that is our top seller currently is our Lightning Kit. It's super moisturizing. It has soy protein to help with breakage, coconut oil in it to help with moisture retention. And so right now that is our number one seller, which is really cool and crazy at the same time. And then after that,
it means people are doing it right. They're educated about.
Yes.
Well, hopefully from my standpoint as a professional, I've tried to be as descriptive or overly descriptive of what to do, how to use it, how to get the best results. Because I'm a firm believer. Like, I was like Hayley growing up. I would go to the store, and that's any money that I had made doing chores or helping a neighbor out, and any cash that I would get, it always went to hair stuff.
Yeah.
Hair color, bleaching. And I remember how, well, first of all, I didn't live in a world where social media and the internet was as prominent as it is today. And so I didn't have those resources to have access of like how-tos or people talking me through. But I just remember thinking as I got older, how cool it would have been to have those resources because I was so inspired by it. I knew at 12 that I wanted to make a career out of doing it. And so really that's it's so cool that we are able to do that now through Good Die Young. Speak to it on a professional level, but also hopefully take away all hesitation that someone would have to do this at home themselves.
What kind of feedback are you getting from your clients? I say clients, your consumers, or
the community.
Because hair color is, Hayley, the way you were talking about, and Brian, like to just the fact that hair it's such an emotional. You're taking like the few dollars you have when you're young, you're not spending it on. I mean, I guess any purchase at that age is, unless you're buying something out of necessity, it is an emotional purchase. Whether you're spending it on an album or a movie ticket. But with beauty, it is like, this is how I want the world to see me. And when you're buying it, when you're spending on hair color, it is very much like a purposeful, it's like changing into a superwoman or Superman costume, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell me, like with Good Die Young, it's like, that hasn't changed. The world has changed, but that action is still very powerful. So tell me like some stories from your community.
You have like the thing that's cool about Brian actually being a living, breathing, present day, still behind the chair professional is that he gets those stories. Still,
you're doing the stories.
Yes.
Especially now having fruits and having other stylists and more clientele coming in regularly, even into the salon. And we do use Good Die Young, but a lot of some of the clients that we're like interacting with in the salon that chose to come there because of Good Die Young, because they had used Good Die Young, they are part of the Good Die Young community. Just hearing them, I mean, it's very endearing, because my thing, stories or not, in the beginning, it was always meant to be a thing that was a conversation or a conversation starter to get people just opening up to each other. I think it says a lot when someone is choosing to do anything to themselves that is remotely against the grain, that stands out, that is not the norm, if you will. But also, I know for me, there was a much more deeper personal meaning to why I was doing what I was doing. And it wasn't just solely based on the fact that I had an obsession with wanting to do hair, or I felt this like calling towards it or whatever. It was, I had a very traumatic kind of upbringing. My mother was an alcoholic. My father was never in my life. And for me, it just was a way to escape. Yeah. I could create this version of myself that wasn't the version living at home in chaos. And presenting that to the community, my peers, the people around me, it was almost like I was putting on a costume and saying, like, I'm going to let them believe that whatever they're seeing forward facing is all that is going on at this moment.
Right.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Hair can do that. Beauty can do that. Yeah.
That's right.
And so a lot of the stories are a lot like that. And it's so interpersonal of how someone interprets it. So hearing a story, it's great to know that it was the one thing that made someone feel like they weren't alone. Yeah. Because growing up, my biggest thing was like, I just assumed everybody's parents were happily married and no one had ever dealt with substance abuse in their home of any kind. Because I didn't know how, at a young age, I didn't know what that truly meant or what it was. And so the conversation has just been really great of just people feeling safe, feeling like they know you, know, like, and in those moments, I felt like no one knew me. So if I mean, and that's kind of what is really special about the conversations and the feedback. And of course, you can read even people wanting more specific things of like specific shades, specific products. But to me, the real important story of it is just the not feeling lonely, like you're just drifting out to sea by yourself, you know, because you could be in a room full of redheads, black, brown hair, blonde. But if you see someone else with like, they have pink hair and I have green hair, and I want to ask them something about that. Like, it's such a simple conversation starter, and it may open up a door to a lot more depth than what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, thank you for being really open. And I think a lot of people immediately will lock in with your story. And I think, when you're going through something like that, like I totally relate to what you're saying when you're like, you think everyone has X situation and like you're the only one who doesn't, you know? And I think a product like, if you guys were just making this up, lip gloss, I don't think your product would have the same impact. There's something really powerful about your product that's like, you want to make a statement. And it just, I don't know. I think it's the tie to, of course, like Hayley, your music is so powerful, but it's like the music and it's it's like there's something tribal, like you said, Brian, about you see somebody across the room who also is like, I'm going to put myself out there in this way. It's this really nice chemistry that I find your brand really interesting. And sorry, I'm not being clear, but I feel like you kind of know what I'm saying.
You're being very clear.
Yeah,
I have to work on synthesizing my thoughts.
Same, actually.
But I think you know what I mean. I think this certain products and certain kind of beauty products and brands, it's kind of like people kind of identify with them for a reason, and people dye their hair for a reason, and it's kind of to stand out, but it's kind of to say something.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
And hair's an accessory that you wear every day. And, and ultimately, it's your crown. It's your version of a crown. It's the closest thing to a crown, you know, some people are ever going to get. And why can't you dress that crown up to be bold and beautiful and, you know, and I think, and Hayley, it was a big conversation between Hayley and I, especially like a year or two into the brand actually being a physical product on e-com and Sephora.com, you know, where and I started, you know, we hit the really like punk, very much what we were when we were growing up and that thing. And Hayley was like, but it has to be. And I just sort of one day looked at her and said, but I thought we were making this about the people that we were when we were younger. And if we're excluding any sort of person to sit at our table, what makes us any different than the people that made us feel that way growing up?
Yeah.
And to me, it's always meant to be like, there's always a spot at our table within Good Die Young. Come as you are, who you are, and let the hair be the thing that brings us all together, that opens a much door of a conversation behind why you're choosing to present yourself this way, whether good or bad, you know, like, and that's okay. But despite any indifferences, it's still, we can still share in the common feeling of how we felt when we chose to dye our hair and what made us choose to dye our hair. That feeling is no different than anybody else's. The storyline may be the same, but the feeling is very much the same.
Oh, the storyline might be different.
The storyline might be different, but you know, the feeling is very much the same.
Yes.
Maybe we don't have to work on synthesizing our thoughts. I knew what you meant. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Fruits Hair Lab. It's in Nashville. I was really surprised I didn't know, Brian, that you were actually there sometimes in the salon. I thought that maybe it was like, oh, you guys created it, but you weren't actually there. That's very exciting. People can go and actually meet you.
Yeah, we actually, yesterday, so funny enough, someone came into the salon and I wasn't doing their hair, but another stylist was. And they were getting a haircut with Erin, who is a stylist that works for us. She's also the salon manager. And she's basically my right and left arm in the salon. And I love her so much. But she was doing younger clients' hair, and Erin came over to me and was like, they really want to meet you. They follow you online. They're a really big fan, and they asked if we could get a photo afterwards. And they were so happy to take a photo and just to be there. And it was so heartwarming and it meant so much. But like, it's moments like that, like, because I am in and out a lot right now because Hayley,
you're busy. You can't be like doing like meet and greets with like everyone at the front
and the
desk.
band are touring. But like, it was so sweet that the timing happened to be right. And I got to meet them and we took a photo. And like, even their mom and dad sat through their whole appointment and took the photo and was just like, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And to me, that's what it's about. Like, I don't know. I just felt like, and probably Hayley and I talked, like, I just felt like an awkward kid growing up and so uncomfortable in my skin and who I was. And like, if I can remotely make one person or having a salon and that take all that sort of like not feeling weird or awkward away, like, I'm like, oh, it's a good place. But I am. If I'm in town, if I'm not on tour, I am in that salon almost daily.
Yeah.
You're very inspirational, Brian. I think you're awesome.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
Hayley, can you tell me about what is like on your mood board right now? Like hair, it's not personal. Like tell us about like what's on your kind of hair beauty mood board. Just because I think, and I guess, you know, this is a bit of Brian too, because you guys collaborate.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We
definitely just have awesome references and just always are thinking about what's going, you know, what's new in hair color.
I mean, to this day, I look to what's happening in Japan because I just, it's a culture that I really love. And we've been lucky enough to go there a few times. So whenever we play there, you know, the band, we're not like in Japan, our band isn't as big as we are in other parts of the world. And it's kind of the biggest gift.
Wait, in Japan, you guys are not as big?
We're not as big. And people would tell us, I don't know. I think I joke. I like tease our agent all the time that there was this one festival that he had us cancel for some reason. And I don't know, I still to this day, I'm like, it was probably like a money thing or something. And I'm like, if you got us on that festival, we probably would have. But to like, in a very serious way, I'm so thankful that it's the one place we can go in the world. And like, I can literally walk down the streets by myself. I mean, there's fans that might come and say hi, but it's not, there's no level of like fanaticism, or I don't worry about safety or any of that stuff. And it's the best place because all I want to do is walk around and I want to see the sights. I want to go shopping. I want to check out like the culture, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'm not there, which, you know, we usually get to go like maybe once an album cycle, we'll go play a few festival shows, or we'll do like a quick little jump to Tokyo and Osaka. When I'm not there, I'm just looking at different salons or street style that's, you know, all the things that are happening in Japan that aren't necessarily like commercialized, but it's real people and their everyday life. So I found a couple of salons that I love to look at. And the interesting thing is they're always years ahead of what ends up happening 2-3 years later in America with fashion and beauty. And right now, what I keep seeing is like this really, it's hard to put my finger on it, but there's something very fresh about how they're doing neutral colors and natural colors, and then mixing in, you know, neons that somehow look soft and feel lived in. And I'm kind of obsessed with that right now. Brian and I have been doing a lot of hair jewelry. So we'll like tie extensions into my hair, and then he'll kind of fasten necklaces and bracelets and earrings into my hair just to like add something textural and shiny when I'm on stage. So I would say those are the two things that just stay on my radar right now. But I'll also say like I'm kind of in this point, this phase, and I think it's because I'm 34 now. We're ending a cycle with our band. You know, we've been like 20 years at the same label.
Wow.
And this is the first time in our career that like our contract is ending, and we get to kind of think about, wow, what is it going to be like to sort of just have agency again to choose what the next steps are. Cool. And kind of restructure. And I'm feeling the same thing mirrored in my, like internally. And so I talked to Brian about this a lot because it kind of presents as an identity crisis, which kind of is, I would imagine a lot of Paramore fans would be surprised by that. Maybe not. But I want to be honest about it too, because I think that like, it's so funny that you can be out in public as something that other people might think is fully realized, but you're still a human that's growing, and you're going through all the same chaos that everyone else is in this world, and your own personal ups and downs. And so I'm kind of in this interesting season of not fully knowing what's the next version of myself? Like, how do I upgrade, and how do I keep growing? And what does that look like on the outside? You know, like I love to sometimes call into being my growth, like by deciding to change my hair, or like buying this old vintage t-shirt that I've been saving on eBay and watching on eBay forever. And it like these little moments, and sometimes it's about purchasing something, or sometimes it's just about taking action. But I think they represent good change, like the kind of change that you need to spur on to keep becoming. So that's where I'm at. And I find a lot of inspiration still, you know, it's always hair. I mean, typically it's hair. We were just talking about it today. I was like, I don't really know what I need, but I know that I need to do something soon. Like I need to change, or I need to try something. So I don't think we'll be like shaving my head or anything, though We will not be doing that. I do love to fantasize.
What was that vintage t-shirt? Was that a real thing?
It's usually, that's what I collect. And I will spend an embarrassing amount of money on like a 1981 Talking Heads t-shirt. It's usually either Talking Heads or like a random, like obscure hardcore band from the 90s.
Bjork.
Yeah, love Bjork.
Yeah, me too. And like Bjork's another one that's just like, you see the presentation of the growth that is internal.
She's always changing. It never feels old, never feels stagnant, never feels like she's listening to anybody else telling her what to do. Mm-hmm. Feels just constant, like a metamorphosis, but it always feels like ageless.
I know. She's really got a superpower, you know, but I think that's to your point of like people being able to like, when they have agency and they feel empowered to do it, which is that's all we want to do is offer those tools. Like you can kind of just become whatever you need to become.
Yes, it does not feel dictated by a trend or a moment or a vibe or any of that stuff. It feels just like she decided to do this, or today she's an owl, or tomorrow she's a mom. Tomorrow, it's just. Yeah.
I love that also that, I mean, I think this is probably because I grew up so public from like 16 on.
It's crazy.
I know.
I cannot imagine.
I'm just realizing at 34, like I'm in therapy being like, oh shit, I didn't realize how much that absolutely fucked me up, But I think that hair was also a way that I could save something for myself and kind of show people that maybe you don't actually know everything that's going on with me. It's why I like bleached my hair. Why I told Brian, I was like, Brian, in 2016, I was like, I cannot wake up again and see the like flame-headed Paramore singer in the mirror. I need to do something else.
Is it like kind of like, I follow you, but I'm just need a little more clarity. Is it like something like, okay, you know what? Like today, you think you know me? Guess what? Now I have like brown hair. Now I have white hair. Now I've like just kind of like keep them guessing. Like you don't own me. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, I don't do many things better than spite. So I think
it's kind of all I'm referencing is like the American Horror Story Coven.
Yes.
When Emma Roberts' character comes back in and she's like, surprise bitches, but you thought you'd seen the last of me. It's basically that vibe in real life. It's like she's like, gotcha.
That's so true. Oh my God.
Don't get too comfortable. She may change. Yeah. And I'm over here like, just sweating.
Mixing up some color.
Yeah. Like,
is this right?
Hurry faster.
Is this what you wanted?
Insane. But true.
Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you so much for that insight. All right, so I'm going to let you go soon. I'm going to let you get back to the studio, back to packing, relaxing, whatever you need to do. We do our quick FM5, which is just lightning round, light, quick, fun answers, and you guys will both do it. Okay, ready?
Oh, Jesus.
What is your favorite cheap and cheerful beauty product? Like under 10. I was going to say under 5, but it's inflation times.
Oh, so I really love the waterproof Maybelline mascara.
Oh, yeah, the pink and green?
The green and pink one.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of my favorite. I keep it in my kit all the time. Swear by it.
It's so good. The clear one was great for summers on Warped Tour also. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Mine is like Aquaphor, literally, like just probably terrible for the environment and all that shit. But I took Accutane as a teenager. I need this. I get
moisture.
It. I need moisture, baby.
Okay, most indulgent snack.
Ooh, go. You're the snack queen.
The boom pop, the boom chicka
boom
pop,
chicka pop,
the
popcorn?
kettle corn.
Oh, that's like healthy.
I know, but I will annihilate an entire bag, so I don't think it's that healthy.
A single serving for you. Okay.
And I'm not talking like the small ones. I'm talking the Costco size, sit down on the couch, and I'm digging at the bottom of it.
That's so true, actually. Mine is, okay, hold on. God, this is really tough, man. So
peanut butter M&Ms.
Yeah.
Tasty.
Don't let her fool you. Yeah. It's also both of ours. I should have said that to begin with.
You put the M&Ms in the Boom Chicka Pop.
If you put them anywhere near me, I'm going to eat it. And we're going to do that.
He during COVID, like him and Colton, his partner's house was like part of my bubble. And I would go stay with him all the time. And he would have the peanut butter M&M boxes that were like this big. Those
I don't want to have to leave the house that often.
They were gone. Anyway, you're right. Peanut butter M&Ms.
Okay, comfort food movie. The kind of thing you just can throw on and like, you know it.
You've Got Mail. No, When Harry Met Sally actually is the one.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, wow.
That's just one. It's always been just my, like an old favorite that
Little big, we shall see.
Okay, underrated musical artist.
Underrated musical artist?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Who do you love? Who do you think needs some love, some play?
Oh, man.
Or is this too political?
Oh, God. Well, what isn't too political anymore? Mine is probably will always be Adrienne Linker from this band Big Thief. Her solo records, now look, she is highly credited and acclaimed, but she's definitely and probably will always be underrated because I just don't think there's a possible way for people to ever all at one time gather how talented she is. And so anyway, that's mine.
I'll check her out. I asked because I was like, oh, these folks are going to know.
Mine's going to be OG.
Oh, OG.
And you took them out on Paramore, just took them out. But, I mean, her singing voice, I'm like, why are you not?
OG, like just the letters OG?
OGI.
Oh, OGI. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Stunning voice, phenomenal on stage, but just I don't know why they're not bigger. I think they're incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you for the musical recommendations.
Yeah.
I feel like our audience thanks you. And then finally, in the movie of your life, who would narrate it?
I hope Brian.
In the movie of me? Oh my God. I would like you to. You have such a great speaking voice.
Oh God.
That or Morgan Freeman. I want to feel like I'm like a Discovery Channel. And I want to feel like it's what is it? The Disney that they do, the planet.
Yes,
I just want Morgan Freeman.
David Attenborough does mine and Morgan Freeman does yours. That's pretty beautiful. Oh, also I love Florence Pugh, her voice. Like anytime she does an interview, she was in Midsommar and
she does have like a kind of a rich voice.
It's just buttery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Florence Pugh. I wouldn't mind that. If we can't get Morgan Freeman on Brian's project, and if we can't get David Attenborough on mine,
I will definitely take.
I would take Florence.
Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Congrats on everything.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It means a lot.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.